Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 625. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Not that I'm active anywhere.
That's good, though.
Today is the 14th of August, 2023. Laura and I both use she, her pronouns.
Yeah.
And we're cramming this in on the only day this week that will work.
I know, right?
So
I'm very busy with back to school nonsense.
yeah.
I have meet the teacher tomorrow night for
I figured it was
2 hours.
some sort of open house or something.
And then next Monday I have volleyball duty. I could have chosen to do volleyball duty tonight, but then I was like, that is too much in 1 week. I try to limit myself to one after school activity a week. But yeah. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Totally up to you.
So I only have this to show. So the only thing that I've made a smidge of progress on is my sock, knitting wise, is a sock that I am knitting out of Knit Spin Farm, her Targhee Sport Weight Base. I'm knitting this on size 1 needles. This is the first sock. I knit my socks a lot of times from the toe up with the Wendy Johnson gusset. So yeah, which is in her first book, Socks from the Toe Up. It's also the heel that's used in Socks on a Plane. So I am just going around and around.
I can see which needle you use more frequently by how much the finish has rubbed off.
Well, look, the finish is rubbed off on that one too. Yep. I am rough on my needles.
I am too.
But they get lots of use. I've probably knit 50 pairs of socks with these needles over the year, over like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, size 1s, sport weight.
Oof.
It's amazing. So this is the only thing that I got a smidge of time worked on, and I got a smidge of time worked on it today, and that was it. Haven't touched my sweater. It stayed in the bag. Haven't touched the sweater that I was going to repair. Haven't cast on for the other cardigan that I was going to do by Tian. Haven't done the Woolens and Nosh Advent socks. Nope. It's just a whole lot of what I have not done. But I do love my Targhee Sport Weight sock. And it lives in my backpack, which is why it's gotten a little bit of work on it. So, yeah. That's it for me.
So I've only got a couple of things that I've been actively working on. And actively is open to interpretation. So
I love those. I have that somewhere.
The Heat Miser. It's the Heat Miser colorway in a sport weight, not the Targhee base, nylon base, by Geektastic. And I'm just about to start this first light purple color again that I started with.
Yeah.
So 10, 11, 12 color stripe.
I love that. And the Miser brothers are from A Year Without a Santa Claus.
Yeah, one of those claymation movies, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I will probably go another couple stripes and then start the heel.
You'll have Christmas socks ready to roll.
Are they Christmas? I guess they are Christmas. Not that I particularly care, but I mean, I like the colors. They're nice and bright and happy. So yeah. So I'm knitting those on a size 3, US 3. I think it's 3.25 millimeter. I think so. Anyway. And then the other thing that I'm working on, I'm at a point now where I've got to dig out the second skein.
Ooh, look at you go.
So I've got this much left of a Miss Babs Yowza skein.
It's like 500 yards.
560 total, so I've probably got 10 or 15 yards in this. So
that's a lot of progress, my friend.
But I'm on one of these extended like drop stitch rows, and I don't want to have to. I just saw one on this. I don't want to have to join something in the middle of one of these really open rows, so I'm not going to do another row with the little ball that's left. I'm going to wind the next skein.
Okay.
And start with it.
Because you just knit back?
Huh?
Because you're not dropping on the way back, you're just knitting back.
Yeah, so the way that you create this drop stitch is you wind the yarn around the needle
Yep.
twice, and so when you go backwards, you're just dropping that extra yarn over.
Gotcha.
So, so yeah, the open lace is not where I want to hide a join, so I'd rather do it in the stockinette part. And I've been knitting this while watching. There's a new Nailed It.
I started watching that this afternoon
Mhm.
when I ate my dinner.
Yeah, and it's more like themed, a little bit more like Bake Off. So it's the
Yeah.
same competitors every week. And
But people don't learn from
Yeah.
their mistakes. Like, I just started watching, and they're evening out the tops of cakes,
Mhm.
and he's, like, showing how, like, you just kind of run your knife along the edge.
you hold your knife like in the same place and you turn your cake
Yes.
essentially. And dude's
And-
like, nope, just cutting it across.
Just randomly cutting.
So I
And
just started
there's this
watching
one
that.
lady who's, like, phobic about cutting herself, so she's, like, standing back like this.
Yeah, it's cute. So it's good, like low stakes.
Yeah.
Stuff. So I finished The Witcher season 3, and it was very like all
Intense?
the emotions. Yeah.
Oh.
And a lot of like subplots happening, and there's not a lot of subplot when it comes to Nailed It. It's just people trying and mostly not succeeding. So
But learning new things along the way, it seems like, with
Yeah.
this new series.
yeah, I do like in the new series the first part of each episode they have people teaching a skill, and then you use that skill in the big like thing that you make for the second half of the show.
The lady who is one of the culinary experts has a cookbook about, like, savory baked goods that looks really good.
Yeah, I like both of them. They're silly, but they fit.
Yeah.
And both of these, plus this month's skein of Knit Spin Farm,
I love the name of this.
I'd Eat That by the Goats.
By the Goats.
So it's got a mixture of the colors represent wild rose, mulberry, barbecue potato chips, honeysuckle, thistle, and black raspberry.
I love it. Joanne and Bill are wonderful.
Yeah. And it's
As are the
living in
goats.
my mushroom ladies. Well, I guess not necessarily ladies. Mushroom tushies
Yep.
bag. So that's basically it. You have some spinning to talk
I
about?
do. I have some spinning because that's where most of my focus has been going. I've been spinning some sock yarn and a few other things. So, let me dig into my giant bag over here. The first thing is not sock yarn. So, I had gotten a bag of coordinates from Hello Yarn. And so what she does is I'm in her yarn club, and she does a colorway, and then you have the option of buying like colors that go along with it in full braids, or she sells 6 ounces of smaller, like 6 different colorways. So each one's an ounce. So I had gotten that and done some color work for an article for Ply with 3 of the colors, and so I guess it's only 5 colors. I had 2 left, so I started like right before SSK. I spun one of them, and then I needed that bobbin for other things.
That's the only reason things get plied is there's a deadline or she needs the bobbin.
Yep. So I applied that up when Leslie was over watching Project Runway with me. And then the other thing that is finished is I spun some sock yarn. This is out of Inglenook. It's a 3-ply. It is a blend that is mostly down breeds and then a smidge of mohair to give it strength. So I think it'll be really interesting for socks. Down breeds tend not to felt, so they're great for socks. They are pretty hard wearing. They're not super fine. So I'm excited to see how these turn out. And then the other thing that I'm spinning is some superwash of BFL nylons. So Greenwood Fiber Works calls this their sock blend. So it's a superwash BFL and then I think 10% nylon. So I split this into 3 chunks. It's probably gonna muddy when I apply it, but that's okay. I'm going to do a 3-ply and then I'll have a sock. yarn, and this is being spun on my Daedalus Starling. All these were spun on my Daedalus Starling. So yeah, I have 2 bobbins done of this. I am going to work on the 3rd, and then I'll have that hopefully applied to show you all next week. That's the plan. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, I'll be good. Good things are happening. I'm back on my spinning. It's always good. So, yep, that is basically it for me. You've been working on a quilt, though.
Yeah, I've been piecing the blocks for a quilt, and I finished today just the block part. You'll be surprised to know that once you've taken yardage and cut it up into a bunch of tiny pieces and then reassembled those pieces, you're still not finished. You still don't have a finished quilt. So there are 49 squares. It'll be 7 by 7. And I've got them all labeled with like that friction pen, so it like heat makes it disappear. And I've gone through, Barb will be proud, I've gone through and like trimmed all my like loose ends and stuff.
Wow, that your back looks great.
So I pressed at each step to try to, because I would like your mom to quilt it at some point, and I would like it to not destroy her machine. So
her machine needs a checkup anyways right now.
yeah, I mean, I'm not, clearly.
Yeah.
It's not happening right this second, but
I can take it, well, we can give it to her at Thanksgiving, and then I can pick it up at Christmas maybe.
So lots of different,
I love those colors.
It's all
besides the peach,
a mix. Well, gosh, it was going to be yours, but now that you hate peach. So yeah, I've got 49 squares.
Because white quilts go so well in my house. They do so well, I should say.
And the next step is I have to attach an edging piece to each one, and then put them together in rows, and then put the rows together to make a top, and then I have to do the edging. There's still a lot left to go.
It's a process.
Yeah. But it's nice because my sewing machine and my office desk are like 10 feet apart, so I can take, a couple minutes and piece a block and then come back, and then I can,
That's nice.
So it's nice to be able to get a little bit done. I haven't done any spinning or basically any other crafting.
Watercolor?
Nope. Kobe and I have been playing a lot of Pikmin.
Cool.
Pikmin 4 came out for the Switch late July, I think, and we've been playing it as time allows and as his work allows, because he's 20, and so his work is taking advantage of the fact that he's 20 and
needs all the money.
Not a complainer typically, and so during a regular work week he works all 3 different shifts.
Oh no.
Morning swing and 2 overnights. And I'm like, you could just tell them that this is getting hard and that, you can't do it forever. And he's like, yeah, I don't mind. And I'm like, the day's gonna come.
When you do mind.
Yeah. It's a lot to ask to have somebody do that constantly.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to hate doing and I worked at Borders when I was his age, and it was only open till like 10 or 11 p.m. But like having to go from there to like the 7 a.m. shift the next morning, I hated that.
Yeah, because it's hard to enjoy time off when you have to spend part of it like adjusting your schedule.
Yeah.
To do.
Well, I was reading an article about like things that you can do to help bring happiness to your life. And one of them was like, make sure that you have 2 hours that are like you time a day. Like, not scheduled to work. You're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I mean, I definitely do. But I also realize that I'm saying that from a place of privilege.
Yeah.
I don't have a bunch of kids that I have to take care of. I'm not the caretaker for relatives. I only have to work one job. Like, I fully acknowledge that this is not possible for everyone. But,
oh, absolutely.
But yeah, you can tell if I haven't had time to myself. I stop answering text messages. Like, I just hermit. So
I like that hermit.
Let's see what else. As far as reading, I'm still reading Hollow Kingdom. It's a post-apocalyptic one where the animals are.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. It's a crow and his.
Oh, that's right.
The dog that was in the house with him, and they're trying to rescue other animals from being trapped in houses and stuff. It's interesting. It's like funny in parts and like really sad in other parts. But yeah, so I've been reading that and listening to some Audible series, like Audible original. I listened to The Space Between, which was like an 8-part series. Each one was like 45 minutes long. It's like how there used to be programs on the
Radio show.
Right.
Yep.
So it's sort of like that.
Cool.
What about you?
I was reading The Honeys, and then I was describing it to a student that I thought would like it, and she was like, okay, I'm going to take it. So she's reading it, and every day I see her when she gets on the buses, and she's like, it's so good, and I was like, I would like to know that. You should give it back. So I did read a book, and I didn't even put it in the show notes. It's called What is Seen and Unseen, I believe. It's middle grade nonfiction text, which is really unusual for me. But it is about how 3 different photographers captured images of the Japanese internment camps and how their bias changed the way that the images were taken.
Mm-hmm.
So like Dorothea Lange was very opposed to the internment camps but was hired by the US government to take pictures as kind of like propaganda. But it talks about how like she was not allowed to take pictures of guard towers, and so she tried to focus on before and after, like joy that the people had before that they were put in the internment camps and how their lives changed. And then the second photographer, whose name I forget, was actually a Japanese American citizen who was in the internment camps who smuggled in a camera.
Wow.
Yeah, hardcore. Because that was a large piece of equipment in the 1940s. And what he was able to capture, but also not capture. Like, there was a teenager that was killed by the guards, and he wasn't able to capture that, but some things that he was able to capture that kind of went against the propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was Ansel Adams, who had only known kind of for his nature photography. But he was like, U.S. government's paying my wages. I'm going to take what they tell me to take. I'm going to make it seem like everyone is happy. And so he had like all his subjects smile in all their photography.
This is giving me Florida education about enslaved people vibes.
Yeah. So, but it's a really interesting book. And the back matter goes into why the authors chose to continue using the word internment for the camps instead of concentration camps, and the connotation of those 2 words. So it's meant for, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders. It's really well done, and it really opens an interesting discussion about bias in photography and what gets taken pictures of and what doesn't throughout history. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I immediately gave it to one of my social studies teachers who's going to use it for part of a perspective unit. So yeah.
Awesome.
And then I'm listening to Legends and Lattes, which is an adult fantasy book that is very funny at points. It is about the main character is like an orc, and she gets sick of killing and being attacked, so she decides to open a coffee shop. It's giving me kind of like Terry Pratchett vibes. I think you would really enjoy it.
I'll have to check it out.
And the second book in the series comes out in November.
Yeah, I'd seen it when you mentioned it a couple days ago. I looked it up and I recognized the cover. I had seen it in something. I don't remember where, but yeah, so I added it to my list.
And it's got like a small female romance aspect to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what I've been doing for the most part. We've been watching Project Runway All-Stars season 20 together.
Mm-hmm.
And not agreeing with the judging.
Yeah, the last couple I disagreed strong. I mean, clearly I am a beacon of fashion and, you know, definitely set trends, but usually based on the way they like edit and present it, you can kind of guess where it's going.
Yeah.
But not so much in the last few, so.
Yep. And that's been about it. I've been at work getting a ton of new books put out. So thank you everyone so much who's donated to my wish list that stays up year round. It's linked in the show notes, which is found at TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. But I had one of my 7th graders who's not a reader stop by because she was skipping class the other day. And she's like, Miss Linneman, you have done an excellent job of getting new books. And she's very excited. She's going to check out some YA books this year. I was showing her some stuff that we had gotten. So she's super stoked. And that makes me exciting.
Is stuff that the kids have requested.
Yeah, for the most part, yep.
So.
That they ask for. Like, they'll ask for specific graphic novels or specific manga series or, and sometimes it's more general. They'll be like, hey, we need more horror.
Yeah.
And then I go find really good horror that's out there that's diverse. So, yeah, there's a lot of new diverse YA horror coming out. I'm very excited about this. I was definitely a Christopher Pike, R.L. Stein kiddo, like when I was their age.
Who was the scary stories to tell in the dark?
Ellen.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, I
remember the artwork specifically.
It's super, the hook hand is super creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have that book in my library and it was written in the 70s. I have like a newer edition, but like it's kind of timeless.
Yeah, like if you ever want to like go all out and like buy me a nice present, a first edition of that.
I will try to find one. I probably got rid of one from my library at some point. Which reminds me, your birthday present should be here soon. The Etsy seller took their time mailing it out, like 3 weeks.
I just bought my sister's present for her birthday.
When's her birthday?
The 22nd, so next week.
And Michael's
Tuesday.
birthday was like 2 or 3 days ago, right?
It was Friday.
Yeah.
Last Friday. So I turned 43. Michael turned 42. Laura is also 42.
It's the best number.
My
Did Michael
sister
just
will
turn
be
42?
39. Yeah,
So he's younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah. I have about a year and a week on him, so.
He's my brother's age, actually. Well.
Nope.
Almost.
How do I know how old your brother is? Because it used to be a code.
Yep. That is true.
What else? I don't really have anything else that I've been working on. Work's been kind of dumb lately and annoying me, but...
Same.
I mean, and I don't have a candle to what Laura deals with.
Oh, so. No. I could deal with the kids all day long. It's just...
Bureaucracy is so fun!
Politicians putting their noses in education is so fun. It's fine. It'll be fine.
I feel like that would be a great title, but I'm almost certain we've used it before.
I'm sure we've used it like 6 times before.
Sometimes I'll pull out some random comment to make it a title, and I'll be like, I think... And I'll search our website, and I'll be like, dang it, I used that in 2014.
Aww.
So... yeah. Alright, well, no point keeping you guys along. Oh, for our Patreons.
Yes.
First of all, thank you very much, our patrons, for supporting this show. We absolutely would no longer do this if it wasn't for our patrons, because they cover things like our cable bill and the site hosting costs and all that sort
our
of thing.
internet bill, not our cable bill, but yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah, the hosting bill. So for our patrons every month, except last month because we had SSK and just time got away from us. But we host a fail along every month where Laura and I try a new craft.
Yep.
And we also do a VKN, a virtual knit night, the last Sunday of the month, almost always the last Sunday of the month. So we're going to do use the Sunprint paper, cyanotype paper on Saturday.
I have lots of weeds that we can use.
And then the VKN won't be for another week or so. But yeah, so if you have the extra dollars and you're interested in supporting us, there's a link on our website, TheKnitGirlls.com, or it's just patreon.com/TheKnitGirls.
And there's lots of different levels.
Yep, and there's also tons of other creators. If we're not a podcast you want to support, but maybe you really love a specific writer or musician or other podcasts.
Or a spinning teacher like Jillian Marino.
Yeah, there's a ton of great folks out there that you can support on Patreon. So, yeah. We'll see you guys if you're a patron. We'll see you on Saturday, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.